Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make these really cute and easy hand warmers that are perfect for beginners. So let's get into it. Okay, so for this project I'm going to be using about 100 grams of this cream double knit yarn. So I've got probably about 60 to 70 grams of just this plain cream double knit yarn, and then I've also got this kind of double knit acrylic yarn, but it kind of has these little specks of this kind of shinier yarn. It's kind of just got these flecks in it, and I thought that it would be quite good to alternate between this and my normal yarn, just to kind of create some texture, and it's kind of giving it a bit more detail. So in total I've got about 100 grams, and then between these two I've probably got about 60 to 70 grams of the plain, and then about 40 to 50 grams of the kind of speckled yarn. I'm going to be using a 3.5mm hook and some scissors. Okay, so I'm going to be starting by basically chaining up the length of the hand warmers that I want. So you want to roughly place the kind of measurement between just the bottom third of your fingers, and then obviously you just want it to go up however far you want. So for my preference I wanted it to be about 35 chains in length. So I'm just going to make a slip knot and chain 35, and then whatever number you chain you want to add an extra one for the turning chain, so that's going to be 36 for me. So as you can see, it goes kind of down to the middle of my forearm. This is going to get a little bit shorter after the first row though, so it's probably going to be about from the bottom third of my finger down to kind of the first third of my forearm, so about here. Again, if you want to make yours a different length or shorter than mine, then you can just change the number of chains you make. So for this project I'm going to be doing yarn over slip stitches, and we're going to be alternating between them in the back loop and the front loop. So for the first row we are only going in the back bumps, so that is just going to be these bumps right behind the chain right here. So you'll see all of these chains going down. When you flip these chains over, you'll see these horizontal bumps going all the way across. This is what we're going to be doing our first row into. So we are going to be yarning over, finding that second chain from the hook, flip the chain over, and then insert your hook into that back bump. So that bump right behind the chain, and then you want to yarn over and pull through, and then pull that first loop through these bottom two loops like this. So you might just have to hold the work to kind of fit it through, like that. So it's kind of a hybrid between a half double crochet and a slip stitch. Into the next stitch, or the next back bump, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So yarn over, inserting my hook into that next back bump, yarn over and pull through, and then pull the first loop through these bottom two loops, like that. Again, into the next back bump, yarn over, insert your hook into the next back bump, yarn over and pull through, and then pull your first loop through the bottom two loops. So I'm just going to complete this all the way across, and I will have 35 stitches when I get to the end of my row, but your number might be different. So I will meet you back once I've done my very last yarn over slip stitch, and then we'll move on to row 2. Okay, so I've just finished my 35 yarn over slip stitches, and now I'm going to start my next row. So I'm just going to chain 1 and turn the work. And I'm going to do a single crochet at the beginning and the end of every single row, and this is just going to keep the edges nice and neat and prevents any kind of holes coming through. So I'm going to just do my first single crochet into that first stitch, and because we're on the back of the work, for the rest of the other stitches we're going to be working in the front loop only. So when you're on the back of the work you want to work on the front loop only, obviously not including the single crochets on either end, and when we are on the front of the work, so the normal side of the work, we want to work in the back loop only. So I'm going to do my normal yarn over slip stitch for the rest of these stitches, minus that last one, in the front loop only. So yarn over, insert your hook in just to that front loop, so that's the one closest to you, and yarn over and pull through, and then pull that first loop through those bottom 2 loops. So now I'm just going to continue doing yarn over slip stitches in the front loop all the way across, and then in that final stitch I will do my single crochet. So I'm just going to continue doing yarn over slip stitches in the front loop until I get to the end of the row where I have that last single crochet stitch that I need to do, and in that stitch I am actually going to be switching to my sparkly yarn. So I'm just going to leave that one blank so that I can show you how I'm going to change my yarn. If you're not changing colours or anything like that, then you can just ignore what I've said and just do your single crochet in that stitch as normal, and then I will let you know how we do row 3. Okay, so now I've got my last single crochet stitch left, so I'm just going to switch to my other yarn. So I'm just making a slip knot, and if you're not switching yarn, just ignore what I'm doing and just make your single crochet as normal, and then wait for me to start the next row. But if you are switching colours, then just insert your hook into that final single crochet stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then pick up your next yarn, place it on the hook, and then pull through those last 2 loops with your new colour or your new yarn, like that. Okay, and that's how you switch colour. So then for your next row, you would just chain 1 and turn the work. Now we're working on the front of the work, and I'm going to obviously start off with my single crochet in my first stitch. I'm just going to wrap the yarn ends over that stitch so that I can weave them in. So just do my single crochet as normal. This is with my new yarn now, and then into the rest of these stitches I will do my yarn over slip stitch but in the back loop. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in just to that back loop. I'm looping over those ends so I can weave them in, then yarn over and pull through, pull that first loop through those bottom 2 loops. So it's the exact same thing, it's just we're changing up where we actually insert the hook. So for when you are on the front of the work, you'll be going into the back loop. When you're on the back of the work, you'll be going into the front loop. So I'm just going to continue doing my yarn over slip stitches in the back loop for this row, and then when I get to the end I am going to do a single crochet, and then I will chain 1, turn the work, and I will repeat what I did for row 2 again, and then change colour on that last single crochet. So essentially I'm changing colours every 2 rows. If you're not changing colours, ignore what I've said, just continue to chain 1 and turn the work and complete your rows as normal. Make sure you're alternating between inserting your hook in the back loop and the front loop so that you get this knit look stitch going all the way up. And then you just want to do as many rows as you want. I want it to have a little bit of stretch as well, so it's literally just fitting my hand. If you want to make them a little bit more loose fitting, you can obviously do more rows. So yeah, I'm just basically going to continue that now, and then when I come back I will just chain 1 and fasten off. So we're going to be making 2 panels for the hand warmers, so you'll make 2 kind of rectangle shapes. So this one I'm making right now will be one of the sides of the hand warmer, and then you want to make a second one. Just finished my last single crochet, so now I'm just going to chain 1 and fasten off. So once you have completed both of the panels, you then just want to line them up and then flip them on the inside out. So you want to make sure that both of them are facing up, and then you want to flip them on top of each other like this. And on the left side I'm going to just single crochet up the seam. So I'm just going to insert my hook from this side, and I'm just going to single crochet both stitches together. I'm just going to insert my hook into that first stitch on the first panel and the first stitch on the back panel, and then pull the slip knot through like that, and then just chain 1 to attach it. and then into each stitch all the way across I'm just going to do a single crochet. So going into that same stitch on the front panel and the same stitch on the back panel, making a single crochet. I'm just looping these ends in so I can weave them in. Then going into the next stitch on the front panel and the next stitch on the back panel, and then single crochet through both. I'm just going to continue that all the way across until the left side is completely sewn up. Okay, so once I've done my final single crochet, I'm just going to chain one and fasten off. So for the other side, which is going to be the thumb hole, we want to just basically single crochet in the same way up until you reach sort of the thumb area. Then you just want to fasten off and leave that part blank, and then single crochet up to the top edge. So I'll just insert my hook through both of those first stitches and pull my slip knot through, chain one to attach it, and I'm just going to single crochet up until I get to the thumb hole area. Okay, so once you have got to the part where you want your thumb hole to be, you just want to chain one and fasten off. And then you just want to skip that part of where you want the actual thumb to be, and then just single crochet up the rest of the work. Okay, once you've single crocheted up the rest of the glove, you just want to then chain one and fasten off, and then you just want to repeat the exact same thing on the other side, except you want to make your thumb hole on the right side, and then you want to sew up the left side completely with your single crochet. So that is how you make these super cute and easy hand warmers. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are always notified when I post, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.